Hi, minasan, konbanwa. Good evening, everyone. So today I'm here with another PDF here, which I made. It's called JLPT versus NAT. So those who watched my previous video, you may have noticed that I am mainly specified for JLPT and NAT exams as well, along with O-level Japanese as well. So today I am here to discuss what is the difference between JLPT and NAT exams. So as we all know, these two exams are mainly used commonly by many people who want to study Japanese. So let's dig into the differences and let's see which exam is the best. So today we will be starting with the first topic, JLPT, which means Japanese Language Proficiency Test. So as we know, JLPT is widely recognized and is mainly accepted by Japanese universities and companies. So if you're planning to do up to JLPT N1, it's very useful and gives you a lifetime opportunity to work in a Japanese company, and you might get accepted, and you can also complete any course you want, like an IT degree in Japan in a Japanese university. So you might at least need N1 level or N3 level to get into these qualifications. And as we may not know, JLPT is organized by the Japan Foundation and the GEES. But GEES is the Japanese Educational Exchanges and Services. So this is mainly founded by the Japan Foundation, as we all know. And the use of JLPT is quite often most, as I said before, for job applications in companies, as well as university admissions in Japan if you want to complete any course, a bachelor's degree or master's degree. And it's also used as a work visa requirement. You can also require a work visa using JLPT qualifications. So if we may all recall, the JLPT test is held every twice a year. The twice every year means there are 2 months that you can actually do the JLPT in 1 year, which is the July test and the December test. Every year, the July and the December test are mainly held for JLPT. So JLPT is held every July and December Sunday first week. So those who do not know this, you can also note this down. The July and December JLPT test. The JLPT test, JLPT July and JLPT December tests are held every Sunday first week. So make sure you get that in mind. So as we may know, if you had heard about this, there are 5 levels in JLPT that shows each of its difficulty. As we may know, the most basic and the easiest is the N5 level. And as we all know, the hardest level is N1, which is the advanced level or the native. It means sometimes there are some dialect questions, also like dialects, which are also used in N1. So you might actually need to study more in N1 than any of these 2 levels. For N4 level, it's elementary. It's also kind of basic. It's easier sometimes. The entry level is intermediate. It means it's somewhat easy and somewhat difficult. The N2 level is upper intermediate. That means it could be more difficult or maybe less easy. If you study N2 and N1 level by heart by remembering their grammar points, it might actually be easier for you to pass the exam. There's a 50-50 chance. So as we may know, if we have done the JLPT test, there are 3 sections that we have to complete. One is so as we all know, the language knowledge papers, which there are 2 types of them. One is the vocabulary paper and one is the reading and grammar paper. The vocabulary paper in Japanese, we call it mojigoi, which has kanji and vocabulary at the same time. While the grammar and reading, we call it dokkai bunpo or genko shiki, which is also the same meaning as grammar and reading. And the last is listening, also known as chokai. For those who do not know this, you can also note it down in a small paste note or maybe a notebook or anything. So each score, so if you may have recall, if you had looked into the internet, you can actually see what are the sections that you have to pass or fail the minimum score. So the minimum score for JLPT N5, you guys know, for JLPT N5 the score must be at least between 80 to 180. The N4 level has to be at least 90 to 180. So there's like a 10 marks higher from JLPT N5 4. For JLPT N3, you have to at least get 95, between 95 and 180, which is also 5 marks higher than N4. The JLPT N2 also the same as N4. The sectional pass mark is 90 to 180. So in between you can score at least 90 or maybe 90 above. However, the N1 level, actually its sectional scoring, its overall marks must be at least between 100 to 180. It might seem difficult, but it is. However, it is actually. So if you guys are experts in Japanese or maybe very good in N1, please make sure you give me some tips in the comments, because I really love to hear any of your done N1. So that is JLPT we discussed. Now let's get into NAT. So as we may know, NAT means Nihongo Achievement Test, which is rest as we Nihongo test. Sorry, I meant Nihongo Achievement Test. So as we may know, NAT exam is less recognized than JLPT, but it's also accepted by some institutions and schools for short-term study visas. So as you may know, JLPT is much recognized by everyone, while the NAT exam is quite not recognized much than JLPT, but some institutions and schools in universities actually accept NAT as well, especially for short-term study visas like that. It's also organized by the Senmon Kyoiku Publishing. So the Senmon Kyoiku Publishing is actually a private company in Japan. So that's why the NAT Nihongo Achievement Test is organized. So as we may know, this is actually not a very common test. However, this is actually a good practice for JLPT as well as some technical or vocational schools actually accept it and acts as a stepping stone for aiming for JLPT. So you can actually do NAT. Actually, if you don't have JLPT around the corner, you can actually do NAT exam, which is held every 6 times a year, which is in this point as well. So it's actually, you can actually use NAT as a practice test. So practice test for JLPT. So if you're feeling scared about doing JLPT, you can actually take the NAT exam as a practice test, so you don't need to be worried about doing JLPT first. As we may know, NAT exam also has 5 levels, same as JLPT N1, like right over here, same here. As I said before, this test is held 6 times a year. The months will actually change from time to time. Maybe it could be the same year from twice every single year. I'm not sure about that. So as also the same, the structure of the paper is also the same as JLPT right over here. It's quite similar as well. And as well, this is the logo of the NAT test, and also this is the JLPT logo. Now it's time to get into the question. Is JLPT exam better or NAT exam better? Which exam is better, you may ask? Well, in my opinion, I actually prefer JLPT more than the NAT exam. Why, you may ask? Well, because many of those you don't know, the JLPT actually, when you receive their certificate, it doesn't actually expire. Whereas the NAT exam, when you receive its certification, it expires for almost 2 years. So basically, it's kind of a waste if you have a 2-year expired certificate. So because of that, it always says that you have to do short term. As I said before, here it's all especially for short term study visas, because it expires from 2 years from the day you did the NAT exam and the date issued that it'll be expired. So I guess in India you might have to do it repeatedly, while JLPT doesn't. You don't need to actually repeat it again. If you had not passed the exam, you can actually repeat the same level in JLPT as well. Also, as I said before, the JLPT only appears in 2 months, 2 months every year, while the NAT exam appears 6 times a year. So I'm guessing NAT exam took the lead in this, while JLPT had only 2 months. So I'm guessing NAT exam has one advantage, which is held 6 times a year. The NAT exam is also very useful as a practice test exam for JLPT. As I said before, it's also useful when it comes to doing JLPT. The NAT test is actually useful, so there's another advantage. However, that isn't going to change as JLPT is mostly common and mostly used by many people and foreigners in Sri Lanka and other people who are in different countries. The NAT exam, however, well, let's just say that the NAT exam is quite less recognizable, but JLPT is more better than NAT. So the chance of doing JLPT is higher than NAT. So if you guys disagree with my decision, I'm guessing I respect your decision as well if you want to do the NAT exam. It's also quite similar to JLPT, however the exam name is slightly changed. So that's it for today, guys. If you have any if you have any comments, if you have any comments or doubts, you can comment down below and tell me all about your decision on which exam is better. Also, for those who are also who had done JLPT N1, make sure you also comment me down. I'll be checking my comments every single day just to make sure. And that's all for today. So sayonara for now.